Enjoy this bit where it's gone from a rectangle to somewhat of a shape in about, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. It's deceptive, like all the hard work goes into now making this actually look like a real guitar. Oh, this is a bit of a beast. Through, did I? I mean, it almost looked like I knew what I was doing, and then as you see, not quite. Okay, yeah, that's one of the hazards of being an amateur driller, amateur guitar maker. Let me figure this out, get that guitar off that drill bit, see what I can do. But I'm slowly getting there with my guitar making skills. There's just always something new to learn, some new mistake to make, but it's something I really enjoy doing, and that's why when I decided I wanted to raise funds for breast cancer charities, I couldn't think of anything better than to try and make a guitar to sell for charity. Remember when you used to hit the top of the television if it wasn't working? I mean, I should have got it on camera, but basically that's what I did. Just gave it a big slam. Right, let's carry on. I might have glued this down a bit strong. And I mentioned this idea in a recent video, and actually it was someone else who then contacted me that sparked off this whole project that I'm now starting. I'm just going to launch straight into it. So basically in the last video, 2 videos ago, I made about making my own Strat. I mentioned briefly that I'd like to make a pink Strat eventually and sell it for charity. My wife is currently going through pretty thorough breast cancer treatment, and you know, it's on my mind a lot. And for the first time in my life, I really want to dedicate a lot of time to trying to help in some way. And so I mentioned that, and then later that day I got a message from Dominion Fuzz, Aaron, who said to me, he said, you know what, I'd like to make a pink fuzz face to help you along with that pink guitar to raise some funds for charity. And I thought this was amazing, and literally that same day he was already like, you know, cutting out or whatever he was doing with the pedal, starting to make it happen basically. And over the next 3 or 4 days, he not only sort of put the pedal together, he put some branding and writing on the front of it. It looks amazing. There's quite a few pieces to this puzzle to get through, but it sparked off an idea in my head for something that I'm now calling the Pink Guitar Project. And the idea at the moment is to make a pink guitar, and I've decided that I'm just not quick enough and quite up to scratch enough to make my own, fully make my own. So I'm making the body. Of all the different rousing operations, I find the neck pocket to be the scariest one. Even when you do it correctly, there's going to be a very thin piece left on one of the sides, and it's just one of those things where you think, if I get this wrong, I might have completely totaled this this mission. But look, you can see the line, center line of the template and the center line of the guitar match up pretty well. So what I've got to do is just drill out a little bit of material so I can fit my router bit in and just go for it. Honestly, this is the way my heart thumps when I do it, but yeah, just got to get on with it. So far I'm pretty happy. First time routing a Strat body and it's looking okay. I mean, this is straight neck pocket as far as I can tell. This is the little thin bit that comes off the side. Here, the first time I ever did it on a telly, I actually forgot it was supposed to come off, and so I panicked when it did, but it does, and it leaves that short bit there and the other bit there. So yeah, the next jobs to do are basically to wait. I have to get what's called a round over bit, and that's going to allow me to route the edges so that they have that distinctive stratty curves or soft edges. And then comes the actual carving of the belly and the other proper cuts that are in the body. But in terms of the sort of structural things, I've gone through the body there, and on the back I need to do the spring cavity for the trem. But it's now 5 PM and I started this morning, so although I've been doing other bits in between, it's Friday evening, it's time for a beer. I'm going to edit this tomorrow and then carry on working on this on Sunday. Yeah, I had a couple of beers after that actually, and I had a lot of time to think, and really I spent a lot of the last week trying to form these collaborations with other people, and in some cases people popped up out of the blue and had seen what I'm doing, so they offered me their time. In other cases I was able to call upon friends who very quickly came on board, and really luckily for this project we have John Case of Case Guitars, who's going to build the neck. He's incredibly busy, he's got a lot of stuff going on, and I'm very grateful to him that he's going to do that. We've got Ash, he's a guitar painter, he goes by Time Traveller Guitars. I've seen quite a lot of his work now and it's phenomenal, so I'm really looking forward to that. And then we have Sunbear Pickups. Stuart is really killing it right now and getting his pickups out there. Check him out on Instagram. And yeah, I think it's a solid team because I definitely couldn't do the bits they're doing, and although they could probably all do the bit that I'm doing. I just wanted to have my hand in here and feel like I've done part of the work rather than just sort of managing the whole thing. I'm really glad to say though that is not where the collaborations end. I'm actually a bit overwhelmed at the response that I'm getting from all sorts of people within the guitar industry to want to just help out. Several of them have even said to me, you don't need to name me, but I will, because I just think, people are putting in hard work for things. The first person I approached was John at Peach Guitars, and I asked him if there's anything he could do to help. And he came through in spades, really. I said to him, look, an amp would be amazing. I was shooting for the stars, and I said, give us a 2-Rock. But ultimately, those companies like 2-Rock and boutique companies don't have a budget to just give away an amp. I totally understand that. And instead, John had a great idea to speak to the guys at Marshall Amps. And he came through really quickly. Marshall heard about the project, very happy to supply a small combo valve amp to be part of this sale, this auction. And obviously Marshall amps tend to be black, certainly not pink. So John is going to take it upon himself to have Zilla Cabs recover the amp in pink. So far we've got a beautiful pink fuzz face from Dominion, and we've got this Marshall amp, and then we've got this pink Strat. Now the colour for the pink Strat, we're not 100% sure yet. I originally wanted like a faded shell pink with a mint green pick guard and like relict nickel hardware. So that's probably where we're going to go, but we'll see if we can do something with the colour of it, just to add a little bit of the depth of colour that the fuzz face pedal has got. On top of that, I reached out to Browne Amplification, who make the protein pedal. This is the one I'm giving away when I hit 7,500 subs, and they are supplying a pink protein pedal to be part of the sale, and we're going to just add some sort of branding or a ribbon on there to differentiate that. On top of that, we have a guy called Joel, that's JW Restoration, who is largely a guitar restorer of the highest caliber, restoring 59 Les Pauls and other unique and fantastic guitars like that. And he also makes pickups on the side. I've got a set of his single coils in one of my Strats, my John K Strat, funnily enough, and reached out to him, and he's going to make a set of his PAFs, which generally go for about $1,000. They're very highly regarded, and he doesn't make them very often. In fact, I asked if he could make me a set earlier this year, and he was like, they're really expensive and they take a long time, and are you sure you want to spend that much on your PAFs? I just hesitated, so I hadn't done it yet. But instead he's coming through with this. So this gives us the best chance to raise as much money as possible in a sale, and I really hope that this project is going to carry on annually, and that each year it will get bigger and better. And so there's another piece to the puzzle, but I guess we can see the rest of the guitar sort of the rest of the body taking shape first. That's my first my first body carve done. Well, nearly done. I can perfect it. I want to make this curve a bit more, what's the right word? Severe, perhaps. So it's a bit more work. And again, this one, I want to make the drop more obvious still, but it's like this is the first draft, and I'm going to come back in a couple of days to try and finesse this to where I'm really happy with it. But yeah, for probably a total of 7 to 8 hours work, this is what I've got, and I'm really happy with it. So this is going to become the pink guitar. So another cool part of this project is that I want players to be involved, any player that wants to be involved. And so we've reached out to a number of people who can make any sort of social media content to sort of progress the fundraising cause for this. And amazingly so far, Joey Landreth Jared James Nichols, Aaron Hiebert, and JD Simo have all agreed to receive the fuzz face pedal for a few days and record some sort of social media content, whether it's for Instagram or whatever. I'm really excited about that. These are some of the best players in the world, if not the best in my opinion. We're still trying to reach out to others who are also incredible players, and I'm really touched by it actually, because I didn't expect for it to go this far. But ultimately, I think when you're dealing with, you know, your loved ones and your most loved one going through something, it gives you a sort of energy that nothing else does. And I don't want to. Not every video is going to talk about this on my channel, because, you know, we've got to just stick to what we do as well. You know, life has to go on. But I'm really grateful so far for everyone that's taking part and everyone that's, you know, just following along on social media and helping me to raise this cause. You know, I'd love to raise 5 or 10 grand this year and double that next year and double that the year after, until we reach, you know, huge amounts of money. So, yeah, I hope that I can still bring you interesting content about this. And I'll keep you up to date with it. The next video of this series will be when I come to finish, sand and grain fill the body and show you the final look of it. And then it will get sent off for John to hopefully fit his neck to it. And then the actual body will go off to the painter. And it will all come together, and we'll have little episodes if I manage to get over to the painter to see it happening or whatever. Now, this clip at the end is basically going to show you why I'm not making the neck. And I've always been honest on this channel about everything, and one of the things I've been very honest about is growing my guitar building skills, which I started just 10 months ago. I've probably worked solidly for 4 or 5 months of that in the basement. You know, I say solidly, a couple of days a week. And wow, if you ever get a chance to build a guitar or go to a workshop to build one or take a course, it's incredibly fulfilling, even when it goes wrong, as you're about to see it goes wrong a lot of the time. Okay, so I've got basically like an evolution of necks that I've put down here, and for some reason or other, a lot of these have been discarded. This is just a simply cut out piece and then routed here for the truss rod. I can't tell you anymore why I've not used that one. I'll have to have a closer look. This one is one of those horrible mistakes where literally I just moved the piece in the slot cutting jig and ended up with 2 cuts here. I don't know if I can fix this. Otherwise, it was a lovely looking piece. I'd sort of started working on the transition there from the fretboard down to the headstock. And I'd done the insert at the back, which I think is like a, what wood is that? Walnut. Yeah, so you route these one-piece ones at the back, you put your truss rod in. This is not the old-fashioned way of doing it. This is a sort of hybrid way of using a modern truss rod. And there's all sorts of reasons why they go wrong. This one, something happened and I got a hole in the top. I can't even tell you why now. It's probably months ago. Again, lots of hard work had gone into a beautiful piece of wood. This one, I didn't know how to do a transition. To be honest, this is probably the first neck, the one-piece neck I did. It doesn't have the fillet in the back, but I wasn't even aware about having to do a transition. I think I just cut it and then I thought about it, and I'd already done a lot of work. But you know, this is all practice, so quite useful. This one, I'm not 100% sure what's going on with this. Oh, there we go. Broke off a bit where I was doing the nut. You know, every time you make a mistake on these, especially when it's reasonably far along like this one, it's just heartbreaking. This one I've radiused, I can see that. This will be a 9.5 inch radius probably. Again, doing quite well. I'll have to check why I've not used this one. It might actually be one I can use, so that's promising at least. I do know that some of them, my fret slot cutting template, something happened and it's not all exactly measured well, so I need to make sure and see if that 12th fret is half of the full. So the 12th fret should be half of the length of the scale length, so I can measure that and see if it was any good. Just more work that's been done. Again, something else has gone wrong here, I'm not sure. I wish I'd taken a note and written it on the side, why have I discarded this, but there's a reason somewhere. If I look long enough I can find one. And then here's ones that got further, they've even been carved. So I've carved 3 necks. None of them I'd say are great, but I will use them to practice my neck finishing, spraying and all of that, and finishing off dressing the frets, and I will attach them to a guitar just for myself to play. And here's some work that was done on a potential logo for my own guitars. I'm not sure I'm going for that one now. But yeah, this was, I think, my first ever neck attempt, and I just pushed through to finish it without trying to be too perfectionist. And it feels lovely in the hand, actually, but there's a lot of, like, you can see where the fretting hammer is smashed into the rosewood. And yeah, so that's the necks. And the reason I'm not doing the neck for the pink guitar is because it's too much chance I'm going to spend months with discarded necks like that and not enough time getting really good ones.